Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Exchange Podcast. I am Chris BR. Unfortunately, my co-host James Uplifting Edwards couldn't be here today, but it's all good. We're going to carry on. We've got a very, very special guest, someone I'm extremely excited to talk to. We've got Mr. Terrance McKinney. And if you don't know who Terrance McKinney is, he is a professional mixed martial artist currently competing in the UFC. So what's up, T? How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Just woke up and excited to talk to you, brother.
Just woke up. Okay, cool, man. I appreciate you jumping over here first thing in the morning. That's what's up, man. You're the man. So the whole reason I started the Exchange Podcast, just to give you a little rundown of like kind of what we like to do here and stuff, is I feel like in today's day and age, this kind of social media age, success is greatly kind of misconceived. You see all these awesome images everywhere of, all these nice looking things, the successful people, but nobody really stops to kind of think about what it took to get there and the actual grit, grind, and hard work. And so as far as choosing guests, I like to choose people who I think are successful within their craft. And you are certainly that, man. You're, in my opinion, blowing up right now. I think you're the next big star here in the UFC. So, but the reality is you didn't have an easy road there, right? Like it's 2022 right now. You're a UFC fighter, but you did not have an easy path to becoming a UFC fighter. That's right?
Not at all.
Yeah, man. So I want to read this tweet. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to read this tweet here on your profile. And let's see here. So this tweet, I want to read this out because this is just packed full of craziness. So right here from Terrance McKinney, it says, 5 years ago, I overdosed and died twice. 2 years ago, I made it to the UFC Contender Series and lost. But 3 weeks ago, I made my debut and set a record. Don't let mistakes and losses define you. Every day is a new chance to be better than you were. So my man, can you take us back and tell us a little bit about what happened here 5 years ago?
Yeah. I decided to go to a party, take some drugs, and I ended up fighting like 6 cops and dying twice in the back of the ambulance as they were trying to get me to the hospital.
Damn. It's crazy, man. And, that's something I can kind of relate to, is having these like, these big kind of experiences or this stuff happening. I've had a personal experience myself, something like that. But, so, okay, so you have this night happen and so were you literally pronounced dead twice, it says?
Yes, 2 to 3 times they said.
Wow. So you have this crazy event here happen this night about 5 years ago, but you fast forward and it's 2022 and now you're a UFC fighter. And I assume that didn't just happen, overnight. So could you maybe tell us a little bit about like what kind of sparked that kind of mindset shift to go from being somebody who was in that type of situation to now being a successful UFC fighter? Like when you look back on that, was there a specific, other than that incident itself, was there some sort of mindset shift or something like that helped you carry to where you are today?
Just seeing the disappointment on my mom's face is something I never wanted to see again. So yeah, I just wanted to right those wrongs and be able to have my mom look me in the face, say she's proud of me, and actually be a good example for my brothers. So Those were the huge motivations for me.
That's big.
And my mom's never gave up, and she comes from the streets of Chicago, almost died twice. So if she'd never give up, I refuse to ever give up.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I think those are consistent qualities with amongst people that we see that are successful and kind of, reaching for their dreams and stuff, is that sort of tenacity. I mean, even when I look in this tweet itself, I mean, you took us through a whole bunch of different, scenarios here where you could have had the opportunity to not only, I mean, you literally were pronounced dead. So that's, that's out of your control, as far as giving up goes, but you've got this other, instances here where you made it to the Contender Series, you lost, but you didn't give up. You came back 3 weeks later. It says you came back, you made your debut in the UFC and you set a record. And what was that record? Was that the fastest knockout or what was that?
Yeah, the fastest knockout in the lightweight division.
In the 155.
Fastest in the UFC.
Yeah. So that's huge, man. I mean, so when you look at that kind of time in your life 5 years ago, I mean, you said it here yourself, don't let mistakes and losses define you. And you had your fair share of losses and mistakes all packed within right in that incident there. And here you are now, still striving and thriving here in the UFC. So that's amazing, man. You know what I mean? That's a rare thing for somebody to do. That's something big that we talk about here on the podcast, is just how you have to be so resilient when you're out here chasing your dreams and stuff like that. And you just seems like you just did not give up. You didn't give in at all, which is really cool and very inspiring to see. I'm personally very inspired by it. And I know everybody here that's listening to the exchange this is the type of stuff we love to hear. So I notice you now. I'm going to take us back to where we are now, 2022. When you get in the octagon, man, when you fight, and by the way, I've tuned into every one of your fights, so, and I will continue to do that as well. But when you fight, man, it just looks like, I mean, even the way you get in there, dude, it looks like you are really fighting with a purpose. Like, honestly, it looks like you know something that the rest of us don't. And can you explain to that to us a little bit? I mean, you get in there and you just go for it. It almost seems like, does this incident that happened 5 years ago, does that have something to do with it?
It's just knowing that I got a whole army going out there to war with me, and it just gives me all the confidence in the world, just knowing that I got people behind me that support me, and knowing that I'm walking in there with God, and I just know there's no man that I need to fear when I'm walking the battle with God.
So would you say that a lot of that's kind of connection with your spiritual relationship kind of helps fuel you in there in the octagon?
Yeah, and just the way I grew up, I was the runner of the group, so I had to fight bigger people all the time. So it was never in my head to be scared.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, because from the outside looking in, when I relate my own personal experiences with similar situations that I've had to you, it almost seems like this situation that happened 5 years ago, it's almost like, you know, if you want to look at it, like God gave you a second chance, right? And you are refusing to let that second chance go to waste. And from an outside looking in, that's how it looks to me. Like the way you fight, when you go in there, it's like, yeah, you've got this chance to right these wrongs that have been in your life, and you're in there doing exactly that. Would I be right to assume that?
That's 100% correct.
It's amazing, man. That's amazing, man. And you know what? It kind of reminds me of 50 Cent situation a little bit. You know, 50 Cent, he got his situation where he was shot and he just came back and made an absolute, you know, life for himself. And I think a lot of people that have gone through similar things, that I myself can relate to that. I've had a similar incident that you did. And I always, you know, I developed a very close spiritual relationship with God as well. And that really motivated me to kind of never let that second chance go to waste, man. So that's really inspiring to see, and it's really cool to see. So it also sounds like you talk about, you know, the support that you have from family and friends and stuff. Is that something that is constantly on your mind? Is that really like a big motivational factor for you?
It's not that. It's just like I said, it's just my teammates being willing to sacrifice their bodies so I can have a great camp, you know, because people don't understand the most dangerous part about the fight is the fight camp. So, like, these guys out here sacrificing their bodies for me, sacrificing their time. And then my mom risking it all so me and my brothers have a better life. And just being willing to give up her firstborn so that she can go chase a better life until she was able to take me from my grandma, which is a huge sacrifice. So I know that wasn't easy, and I'll always put on the line for her, just like she has for me.
It's amazing. It's amazing, man. That's beautiful to hear. And you know, that's exactly kind of even what I just talked about in the beginning of the podcast here. Is that's exactly what we like to highlight. So I love the way you put that there, because on the Exchange podcast, that's exactly what you know, that's one of my big driving purposes. And I love how you said that people don't realize that the most dangerous part of the fight is how much you guys bust your ass and risk your ass in training. And that's exactly my whole point. When people maybe they stumble across you on social media, they see, you know, T-Rex 155, he's verified, there's pictures of you holding your hands up, winning fights, but nobody realizes the actual serious work, sacrifice, and struggle that not only that you put in to get there, but also the people around you. So I really love how you put that, and I appreciate you letting us giving us a little bit of insight of what really goes into that, because that's exactly what we're all about, man. People don't understand the real hard work. You know, people are so focused on the finish line, but they don't like to work at the steps it took to get there. So that's huge. So if I could ask you kind of a basic question and we take it back a little bit, like what ultimately influenced you to get into fighting?
I always wanted to fight, but I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of scared to do it back in the day because I got to see a couple fights. And I'm like, oh hell no, these guys are crazy as hell. And then after that death experience, God showed me that I was supposed to fight, and I ended up becoming like a champion of the world.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, whether you were fighting in a cage or not, with that experience, you fought your way out of that. So I guess that's sounds 100% accurate. I mean, you became a fighter, whether you kind of were intending on doing it or not. Did you ever have any kind of any jobs, like any normal jobs back before fighting?
Yeah, I always tried to keep a job. I don't like being broke.
Love it. Love it. So you were constantly staying busy and stuff like that. So I guess if you weren't fighting in the UFC right now, like what do you think you'd be doing as far as a job goes?
If I wasn't fighting, if I couldn't, I'll just be a peer counselor, counsel the kids and show them how to advocate for themselves, teach them how to create a budget, teach them how to apply for jobs and how to get it, and let them know the questions they need to know. Those are the kind of fields I'll be working in.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, that's something I personally have kind of aspirations to dive a little bit more into as well, as kind of giving back to the youth in a certain manner, specifically to like young males who might be kind of misguided and stuff. It's something that I can personally relate to, and I think it sounds like that's something you can relate to as well, and that you have a passion for doing. So that's really cool. So then I guess, like, as a UFC fighter, as a fighter, what are you ultimately hoping to get out of fighting?
I'm looking to be a 2 divisional champion, secure generational wealth for my future family and my kids, and also to help people heal and just be here for the fans who feel like they're alone and help them feel strong enough to live another day. That's what I'm here to do, and bring as many people to God as I can.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, that's something that I really, really like about you, that, you know, you seem like a really young guy to me. I'm not sure exactly how old you are, how old you are, but you seem like you have a really, really good head on your shoulders, especially for the position that you're in. I mean, I really do see you as kind of like an exploding star in the UFC right now. And for you to have such a genuine, awesome head on your shoulders with the right intentions, I think is kind of rare, especially when you see people starting to blow up the way you are. So that's amazing, man. And I really applaud you for that. So other than fighting, and you might have already kind of answered this, but other than fighting, like what sort of projects and stuff do you have in mind? Like what sort of stuff are you spending your other time on?
Right now I'm doing my podcast.
Nice.
I'm about to look to get some new tattoos coming up these next few weeks. And I just spoke at this charter school a few days ago, and it was just a wonderful experience. The kids were crying and stuff, and I could really see God moving in those kids' lives. So
it's amazing, man. That's absolutely amazing. So is that something that maybe, when you do start to reach more of like a higher level of success in fighting, and you're kind of a little bit more, I don't want to use the word comfortable, but a little bit more like acquainted with that lifestyle, is that something you plan on spending more time or maybe even some finances into, like creating some organizations and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's my main goal, is to create a gym for not just youth, for all the fighters, because fighting ain't as cut out as it meant to be, because we got to pay our gyms manager. So I want to create a way for fighters can train for free,
Yeah,
and
that's huge.
train for the youth, anything that can help these guys put money in their pocket and make their life easier. I plan on building like a dorm atmosphere for the fighters.
Yeah, that's really cool. Kind
of
like
all they really have to cover is their food.
Yeah, so it's almost like a fight college type thing, right?
Yes, sir. That's what I'm looking to do.
That's amazing, man. And now, do you have any sort of like partners who are got like-minded intentions with that maybe are jumping in on the project with you?
Yes, I got a couple people behind me, and I'm looking to make it like a non-profit so that I can get like the necessary donations and the help to build the gym. And I got everything lined up, and everything's going according to God's plan. And I'm just gonna keep doing what I do best and keep getting in the cage.
Amazing. That's awesome, dude. So you mentioned tattoos, dude. So you're getting some new tattoos. What are we getting done?
Getting a samurai mask on my neck because I'm a martial artist and I believe in the one-on-one combat, which is what most of the samurais do. And that's why I got Samurai Warrior on my neck right now and riding, and now I just got to get the mask to complete it with some smoke coming out of it on the front of my neck.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty heavily tattooed myself, so that's something I'm always every kind of increment of few weeks, months to go by, I'm always kind of thinking of another tattoo. They're super addicting, aren't they?
Oh, 100%.
So would you say that maybe the career you're in here as a UFC fighter gives you a little bit of freedom to kind of, get tattooed whatever you want? Or would you just be doing that anyways?
Yes, no, I definitely will not be doing that if I didn't secure the lock in the UFC.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome, dude. Awesome. So, I mean, dude, you've had like a serious road to the octagon and you've just kind of chosen to keep fighting and you've been triumphant at every corner. And it's extremely inspiring, man. It's something that, I watched you get into the Contender Series. I watched you fight. I watched you get in the UFC. And I think your just whole energy you give off is extremely, it's extremely inspiring, and it's you're motivating other people, I think, a lot more than you even realize. And I think you were going the awesome way about it, man. You seem to have such a humble and awesome head on your shoulders, and it's really cool to see, because I'm sure and I'm sure you've watched the sport for a while. You've seen what can happen, and you see how that stuff can get to people's heads. So what are things that you do to stay level headed?
Just thinking about the past and just how far God's taken me, just giving him the glory, just being forever grateful and just making sure I'm seizing every moment and just being a fan and not just a fighter at the same time. So It's always humbling when I'm stepping out there, because I know I could easily be cut from the UFC, like there's people getting cut left and right. So I'm just making sure I stay humble and just stay in the gym, because this isn't for granted, So I gotta be smart about this, build myself. So like if I can't fight anymore, I still got in, so I'm secured.
Of course. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and even just everything you said, I mean, you strike me as somebody who you sound like an all-out hustler, and you want to be, like you said, getting some sort of money coming in no matter what. So I have no doubt that if you weren't fighting, you would be working hard. But I have a question. I don't know what your kind of responsibilities or dependency is like, or who's depending on you, and it doesn't matter. But as far as the question goes, but do you like fighting because you can kind of be in total control of your well-being? Like, it's essentially like when you step in the cage, as far as I know, the UFC pay structure works. Like, it's like, okay, if I want that second check, it's on me, and you're in control of that. Is that something that you like, as opposed to if you were to work a normal 9-to-5 job for some sort of corporation where you could be fired if they need to lay people off and stuff like that, and that's out of your control? So is that something that you like about fighting, that you're essentially in control of your well-being?
Yeah, I like that, and it just reminds me of wrestling. Because sometimes it sucks when you have to rely on the team, and really, like, this is all up to us to win at the end of the day. Like, we got the coach, but once that cage is locked, it's really all up to us. And I just love like that energy,
Yeah.
And I always love fighting. Like, I always used to fight. Like, even though I didn't want to do any cage, I always loved fighting, just in general. Yeah. So it was always in the back of my head.
I feel that, man. I feel that, and I think that the energy you give off in the cage, like I said, it's infectious, man. And I see that, and that's something I've always admired about, and always kind of related to fighters that way. It's kind of like you just said yourself, man. You've got a whole support system. You've got family. You've got friends. You've got teammates. But at the end of the day, when you get in that cage, it's up to you. And that's something I relate to as well. I feel like as us men, it's kind of our job, whether we kind of see it or not, from society's aspect, to be kind of providers, to be kind of doing something, providing something, whether it's for your wife or your children or your friends or your town or something like that. So that's why I was asking that question, because it seems like as a fighter, you get to be in control of that. Like where I said, like where I kind of demonstrated, like if you're at a job and you get fired for no reason. But I guess it's the same thing with the UFC, how you can be cut. And now, so do you feel pressure constantly to be performing, or do you just kind of go with the flow?
Not at all, because I know, like, God showed me this is what I was destined to do. So when I'm out there, I'm just looking to have fun and just see what God brings me, whether that's victory or defeat. I just know it's just going to be very humbling, or just a great experience every time I'm out there.
Yeah, of course. Of course. I think that brings me back to like kind of a basic quote where it's like, God grant me the clarity to, what is it? To worry about the things I can control and not the things I can't control. And it sounds like you're doing that perfectly. You kind of just go out there and be yourself. So again, even in today's kind of, social media world, especially with the way, the fight business goes, where there's a lot of pressure to sell yourself and stuff like that. So I guess it's kind of a similar question, but again, you don't really feel any pressure to kind of, get out there and sell yourself, kind of like a Conor McGregor or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to be bigger than Conor McGregor. That's the goal.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that, man. And I truly believe that you're on your way, man. I think there's something special with you when it comes to not only outside of fighting, but within fighting. And I think your story there, how far you've came is just, that's why I wanted to have you on here, to give you the opportunity and give us the opportunity to learn from you and have you talk more about that, because it's truly inspiring, man. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. And I love how you just never gave up. I can't say it enough, dude. So it's amazing, man. So talk to me about the podcast. What do you got going on with your podcast?
My first episode comes out. We talked about the fight. And then I haven't chosen my first guest for the official podcast for Reckless, but I'm just waiting for all the equipment to come in before we lock into the official episode.
Cool. Do you have a name for the podcast?
Reckless.
Oh, nice. Okay, and where are people going to be able to watch it?
On YouTube.
Very cool. Very cool. So as a UFC fighter, so you've got your podcast starting. Do you also see as an opportunity, because you're getting a lot of exposure from the UFC, to be kind of, just kind of hustling on the side and get some things like a podcast together? Anything else? Is there anything else you got cooking up? Any sort of projects or like any social media things or branding or anything like that you're working on?
Yeah, we're doing it all, like I said, I'm not just a fighter. I'm highly educated. I went to college. I'm also a businessman. So, like I said, just setting myself up for success in the best way possible through like Twitch, through TikTok, through Insta, like making sure I'm just using all these platforms for my good,
Yeah, it's amazing. It can kind of cause some anxiety because there's so many platforms these days, like you just said, to stay on top of. There's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube. So what kind of stuff you doing on Twitch? You playing video games? Are you chatting?
I'm about to be playing some video games and watching some fight shows live and just giving my analysis about them.
Nice. What kind of games are you playing?
I got Fortnite, Apex. And I like to play like Madden and 2K. But yeah.
What about the UFC game? You like playing? You play the UFC game?
Sort of. I'm actually pretty zippy at it, but I don't play it too much. But they need to hurry up and put me in there.
Right, they do, and I'm sure they will. I think I've kind of noticed, because I play the UFC game. I think I've noticed they stopped putting new players in there because I think they're probably cooking up a new one. So hopefully they come to you first and get you in there. So that's dope, man. I'm a gamer myself, so I know how it is getting on Twitch. So I'm excited to see you on Twitch, man. I'm gonna have to go look you up after this, and I'll be definitely tuning into some of your streams there and seeing what you got going on. So Apex, I play Apex too. Apex is fun. You play any Call of Duty, or you stay away from Call of Duty?
No, I like it all. I like Call of Duty. My favorite is Black Ops 3. The zombies on there is my favorite.
Yes, sir. I can agree with that. What about TikTok? What kind of content you putting out on TikTok? Is it kind of like behind the scenes stuff, fight related content? What do you got?
I'm gonna start taking it more serious, like getting some dance stuff on there, getting some funny content. Right now it's just chill vibes on there.
Yeah.
Some stuff my personality, and
very
then
cool.
Some stuff about the fight.
Very cool. Yeah, TikTok is always the platform that I've struggled the most with. I kind of don't really know how to use it, but I'm starting to kind of mess around with it a little bit from a business aspect for my business too. So, because it is one of the, I think it's maybe the biggest social platform right now, or at least one of them. So it is important to be on there.
It's all about the hashtags, which I've been doing my research on.
On TikTok?
Yeah.
It's crazy because that's the way Instagram started. And it's like, dude, I've been grinding on Twitter, Instagram for like almost a decade. And then it's like, you'd think that those skills would translate over to TikTok, but man, it's kind of leaping me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. But so I give you credit for getting on there. So speaking of your socials, man, let's shout your socials out. Where can people find Terrance McKinney?
TWRECKS 155 for Twitter and for Instagram, and T-Rex 95 for TikTok, and it's just Terrance T-Rex McKinney for my YouTube content if you guys want to find that.
Very cool. Yeah, I see. Have you put any content up there on YouTube yet, or is this a new venture for you?
Yeah, we got a few videos. We got like 3 up.
Dope, man. Dope. Well, Terrance, dude, honestly, like I said, you're a very inspiring individual. I love that the story that you came from, man, and you're just being yourself, dude, and fighting through life and fighting in the cage. So it's been amazing to talk to you, dude. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. The Exchange Podcast, we really appreciate you getting on here and shedding some of that energy that I've noticed that you put out there, man. So it's been amazing to have you, dude. I really appreciate you. And with all this good stuff you got going on, I'm hoping maybe sometime in the future, me and you can link up on some more projects, dude. Sounds like your heart, your mind, everything's in the right place. And I'd love to find something we can do together, man, because you're an all-out hustler. You're a good dude, and you're just killing it, man. So I wish you nothing but success moving forward. Knowing you, I'm sure you're going to be back in the cage and probably this weekend or something, right? Dude,
as soon as I can, know that 2 months stop.
That's what's up. Oh, okay. From the commission and stuff like that. Man, dude, I'm telling you, bro, I was so pumped when you jumped right up there against Dober, bro. And dude, I was losing it, man. You went right in there like a bat out of hell and just threw it at him. And it was, again, that's the energy I was talking about. It just seems like you know something that we don't. And that's it sounds like that's all correlated to that experience you had. So yeah, man. So it's been a pleasure to talk to you, brother. I really appreciate you waking up and talking to us, man. That's what's up. So I appreciate your time. But yeah, everybody go follow T-Rex 155 on Instagram. He just shouted out all his socials before that. So link up with Terrance, follow his career, show some support. And I'm sure we'll see you in the octagon very soon. Other than that, man, keep doing you, keep doing your thing, brother. Wish you nothing but blessings, positivity, and success. And I really appreciate you coming on here, man.
Hey, thanks, brother, and God bless, man. And I don't know if anyone told you, you look like a Jake Paul. If you cracking me up, man.
Dude. It's funny you say that because, dude, I'm not playing with you, bro. I get that on my socials probably 2-3 times a day. Everybody's always tagging me, commenting me on my business. I got a clothing business, and everybody, anytime we post me, it's just Jake Paul. Somebody. For the first time ever, somebody the other day told me that I look like a cooler version of Jake Paul. I'm like, I'll fucking take that. That's
cool.
You
got to take that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man.
Jake Paul's pretty cool. People
I think he's cool, too.
Succeeding. People just don't like when people succeeding in the U.S. But other countries get behind people that are getting success. It's kind of weird. We need to shy away from that and support the people that are doing great in our country.
I couldn't agree more, dude. And especially within the UFC, I've heard other people notice that too. It just seems like these other countries, it's like the entire country will get behind them. And in America, it's like nothing. It's maybe your close friends and family, if that. And I know how that goes. I come from Rochester, New York, and I've always said the same thing about this place. It's like people are more quick to kind of shit on you and hate on you before they even support you. And it's like, dude, we live in the same city, man. And I think that's where that comes from. I think when people see that you had the same opportunities that they had and they don't jump on it the way you did, that's where the jealousy and the envy comes. But dude, I think Jake Paul is cool too, man. You know what I mean? He's doing his thing. He's popping. He's I don't know, man. He's been fun to watch, whatever, so, and he's out there doing what he's doing with combat sports too. So I think there's a place for it all, man. And exactly like you said, I think people just like to hate on people that are popping. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
But it is funny you mentioned that, dude. I've always gotten that. I've got, it just seems to be whatever white boy happens to be popping is who I am. It's Jake Paul now. A few years ago, when I had a little bit more hair on my head, it was Conor McGregor. Then before that, 2012, I used to get stopped on the street when I was living in LA because people thought I was MGK because he was the guy back then. When I was a kid, it was Eminem. It's just like, man, I just want to be Chris Dodd, man. But no, it's cool though, man. It's funny. I get it all the time. So yeah, all good, cool. Brother. Good stuff, man. But yeah, like I said, man, appreciate you popping in here. Keep doing your thing, man. And yeah, we'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Stay blessed, son. You have a great day.
You too, brother. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in the Exchange Podcast. We'll see you next time.